more than a jumper. It's a tradition, a legacy.
It crosses our hearts and unites us all, and now more than ever.
It's time to don the sash.
Happy birthday, Dustin. How's 39 feel?
Oh, to be honest, feels like any other day, but yeah, it's good to have a birthday and kids up early this morning and drop them at school and into training today. So it's been a good day so far.
Given your form, Dustin, do you think you'll be here for your 40th as well, and maybe a few more?
Hopefully I'll be around. I'm not sure I'll be playing, but we'll wait and see, and we'll see how we go. At the moment, I'm sort of still getting a kick and still contributing, so we'll see how we go in the next 14 or so weeks.
Do you feel like you're playing better footy this year than you were last year?
To be honest, I'm not sure about better football. Last year I don't know. Looking back, I was sort of carrying a bit of a groin and got a bit sore through the abs. And I'm pretty fresh this year. And the pre-season I did was probably a step up, and I got through that really well. So I was chasing, as I said before, Paddy Ambrose around and a few of these guys who can run pretty well. So I think that's held me in pretty good stead.
How do you explain your longevity? I mean, the football world scratching their heads watching you run around. What's the secret?
Well, a lot of the older boys think I'm pretty smart with my training. I think you've got to do the hard stuff, when you have to. But to be honest, I didn't play a lot of junior football between sort of I suppose when you start 10 and sort of 18. I wouldn't have played as many games. So maybe playing in the back line too. You're obviously not you're not playing on ball and getting hit every week and getting that type of thing. But I've managed to keep my pace and stay pretty healthy. So and I suppose mentally too. We're out here now at a new facility, and the centre's really sort of helped that.
The club's recruiting players 20 years your junior. I mean, there are moments that you feel just like the old bloke around the club.
Oh yeah, and to be honest, that's been the feeling for the last probably 6 or 7 years. So that doesn't change. But what I do find is the young kids that come in these days are they're a lot more mature and they're a lot ready to play football. You look back to when I started, and it's that far apart. It's not funny. So the kids coming through these days are great kids, and just they'll do anything to learn and get better with their football.
I know you're obviously very modest, but do you ever sit back and Michael Tuck and Craig Bradley were seen as freaks. They were finished at 38. There's a chance you could play to 40. Do you sort of ever think it's quite remarkable what you've been able to do?
Oh, to be honest, not really. When I do finish and I can sit back and have a beer and watch the boys go around, and I'll probably enjoy it more. But when you're playing, you're still up and about, and you're still obviously trying to do your best. And that time to sit down and relax probably sort of it's hard to do during the year. But I know 39. You're getting old, but I still feel all right. And the boys in the room sort of keep me up and about. So it's going pretty well so far.
The game itself, Dustin, it's changed a fair bit in 20 years. What do you think of it now? Where do you think it's at?
Well, it's definitely, I suppose, this year I think you've noticed a bit of a change in the way the game's played. Obviously, people talking a lot about the scoring and it's not as high maybe in the past. And to be honest, that probably suits me. Obviously, playing in the back line, so it is changing. But as I think, year by year it changes. People come up with different ideas. Coaches coach a little bit different. So I just reckon you let the game go. It evolves. Next year might be a little bit different to this year. So, but there has been a bit of a change in the way it's. I've noticed even playing the way the game's going.
Be fair to say that you're still feeling like this mentally and physically come the end of the season and still playing like you are, that you'd be more than a good chance to play next year?
Oh, yeah, you'd have to say yes, but you're always worried about. No, not worried about, but there's a long time to go. So I actually spoke to Hurdy a couple of weeks ago overseas, and we didn't speak about about that. We spoke about the way the side was going and how it was going. So I've been in contact with Hurdy, but a lot to go. But as I said, I'm still enjoying it and getting a kick.
I think Hurdy said last year that it would solely be your decision as to when the time is up. You accept that, or will you do that in consultation with the club, or will you just say that's it, I've had enough?
Yeah, I don't know. it probably will be my decision. Like, you know, I'm not stupid if I'm battling injury or I'm, you know, not getting a kick. Well, you know, you walk away, you know straight away. So, and I'm not going to make the decision hard on Hurdy or the footy club. But on the other hand, if you're still going, getting a kick, contributing to the back line, and you're winning games of football, well, you know, you'd be pretty honest about it.
What about the team's current form? How do you see it? I mean, Terry Wallace was pretty critical earlier in the week that at times the team looks hungry, at times it doesn't. How have you sort of assessed the last few weeks?
Yeah, I think the big one for me has probably been just that, you know, inconsistency. You know, even, you know, we've had some really good games, obviously, you know, against Hawthorn, even though we lost by a kick. And so it's been a bit inconsistent for me. You know, I think when all, it's pretty easy to say, when all the boys buy in and do their part, you know, we can play well, and you know, no individual's really got to sort of, you know, be right up top. Everyone does their job. So, and we've sort of spoken about that. And if we can get a good team performance this week, and you know, obviously Sydney the week after, and you go into the bye with a few more wins, I think your confidence grows.
Why has that buy-in sort of fluctuated a little bit? Bomber sort of spoke about that after the game on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. I think when you speak about football changing, I think, you know, a lot of the times now you've just got to do your part in the team. The way, you know, the forwards, backs, and the mids sort of work in their lines. I think you've just got to make sure you hold down your spot. And you know, there's times I'm not sure when, you know, you go away from that a little bit and it really does hurt in the scoreboard. So you've just got to make sure as soon as you get, you know, a couple of goals kicked against you, can come back to the way you want to play. So and that's a big part of footy these days.
Talked about change to the game. Dustin, what did you take from Jack Viney's bump last night?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not the right bloke to ask about tribunal sort of stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I thought he's a bit unlucky. You know, as a young kid who's, you know, he's just going out and going in for the footy, and you know, I'm not sure sort of what you want him to do in that sort of situation. Whether he sort of, you know, maybe holds back and tackles, which is not the right thing to do, or whether he sort of steps away. So I feel a bit for him because, you know, a young kid playing footy, he's been doing it for you know, for so long, just getting the hard ball and hitting bodies. So. But, you know, that's maybe the way the footy's going a little bit, so we'll just have to, you know, you have to cop it and move on, but a bit disappointing.
Do you look at something like that and think, back when you first started playing AFL footy, in some respects the game is completely different?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. That wouldn't have been looked at. Yeah, for sure. So it is changing, and the rules, I suppose, are in place, but you don't want to, you know, you want to see goals kicked, you want to see, you know, guys getting hit, you want to see guys getting the hard footy. So for me, I would have just let it go, but that's only my opinion.
Has that decision made it even more confusing for players now? I mean, if the tribunal let him off, you know, players, you can still brace and protect yourself, but it seems that's not even the case anymore.
I think it is hard, and you don't want to second guess yourself when you're out on the ground, and you know, and you've only got a split second to make a decision. You sort of don't. You want to just be able to sort of naturally do what you do, and when you've got to make that decision, I think that's when, you know, you go away from what your natural instinct is. So from that way, I think it's a little bit sad because, you know, he might be thinking now the next time he goes for one, you know, should I really, you know, go in and do it, or just hold back a bit. But I think I read somewhere he's not going to change the way he plays, and that's good for footy.
What else are you going to do on your birthday, mate?
Oh, not much, to be honest. We've got a full day. We've got a full day here, and then my boys they train tonight from about 6 till about 9. So if you look at it from about 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock tonight, it'll be football, some type of football. So I don't know. I might have to wait till the day off or somewhere to have a nice dinner and a couple of beers.
Let's ask you about Cale Hooker. 2 years ago, he was almost traded out of the club, and his improvement's been quite remarkable. Why do you think he's improved so much the last couple of years?
To be honest, I think just Cale's worked really hard. You know, the way he goes about, you know, and it sounds a bit boring, but you know, he's just does everything asked of him, Cale, and he's very, you know, even his run, he's got a lot of work on his running technique, and he's in his pre-seasons, he just goes and gets the job done, and I think he's improved a hell of a lot, and obviously very important part of the back line. His intercept marks and the way he reads the game is very good as well.
And just on Jason Winderlich, Dustin, great to hear that he's been cleared of serious damage. Must have been a bit of a concern for him when it happened.
Yeah, it did, and it didn't look good on the replay when I saw it early in the week. So, but yeah, he's up and about. He's in good spirits in the rooms there. So, with a bit of luck, I'm not sure how long he's going to miss. But if it's only a week, even or 2 weeks, it's pretty good because having Jace in the forward line and the way he goes about his footy is very important to the side.
It's more than a jumper. It's a tradition, a legacy.
It crosses our hearts and unites us all, and now more than ever.
It's time to don the sash.